Thank you for joining me. My name is Adriana Rodriguez and I am a dietetic intern. In this presentation, we will explore the role of whole grains in traditional Blue Zones dietary patterns. Today, we will discuss what whole grains are, how they differ from refined grains, and why regularly including them in the diet may support long term health and longevity. Blue zones are regions of the world where people live longer and experience lower rates of chronic diseases. Researchers study these populations to understand what supports longevity. One of these factors is diet. In the main blue zones regions, eating patterns are mostly plant based and focus on whole and minimal processed foods. Whole grains are eaten regularly, and provides steady energy along with essential nutrients that supports long-term health. Some common whole grains included oats, brown rice, barley, whole wheat, corn, and durum semolina. In many Blue Zones regions, whole grains are staple foods. Some populations like Sardinia, Italy, or the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica consume a larger amount of whole grains as a central part of meals. The other Blue Zones regions also included whole grains, but not always as the main percentage of their diet. Instead, each region tends to eat the grains that grow locally and fits their traditional food culture. For example, some regions rely more on corn, others on barley or wheat, and others on rice. The common pattern is that people eat locally grown, minimal processed grains as part of their everyday meals. These traditional eating patterns, centered on whole plant foods, are strongly associated with lower rates of chronic disease and a longer life expectancy. To understand why whole grains are beneficial, it helps to know how they differ from refined grains. A whole grain contains three parts: the bran, which is fiber filled layer with B vitamins and minerals; the endosperm, which is a starch carbohydrate with some protein and vitamins that mainly is used to provide energy; and the germ, which is a nutrient pack with vitamins B and E, phytochemicals, and healthy fats. Refined grains have the bran and germ removed during the process, and this improves their texture and shelf life, but it also removes much of the fiber and many important nutrients. That is why whole grains are generally more nutritious. Whole grains are nutrient dense because they contain all parts of the grain kernel, especially the bran and their germ, where most nutrients are stored. They provide dietary fiber, which supports digestion, helps control blood sugar, and can help lower cholesterol. They also provide B vitamins that help the body use energy and supports healthy cells. Thiamine helps convert food into energy. Riboflavin supports cell growth, and niacin supports metabolism and nervous system function. Whole grains also contain important minerals, such as iron, which helps carry oxygen in the blood, magnesium, which supports muscle and nerve function and helps regulate blood pressure, and selenium, which acts as an antioxidant that protects cells. So, in addition, whole grains provide antioxidants that help reduce inflammation and protect cells from damage linked to the chronic diseases. Because of these nutrients, whole grains support heart health, digestion, blood sugar regulation. They can help lower your cholesterol, provide steady energy, and increase your fullness after meals. Regular intake is associated with lower risk of chronic diseases. Some individuals need to avoid gluten. due to medical conditions such as celiac disease, wheat allergy, or sometimes their gluten sensitivity. However, gluten free whole grains such as brown rice and corn still provide fiber and many important nutrients. And there's more options out there. I just added the main options from the main regions of the Blue Zones. To summarize, whole grains are a major part of traditional longevity diets. They are nutrient dense, minimal processed, and regular consumed in Blue Zone regions. Including whole grains consistently can support long term health. Now that we understand the whole grains, let's look more closely at one of their most important components, which is dietary fiber. That's next on our series.